They say that the human race is doomed, that we have lost touch with our true nature, that the media has corrupted us, and that the planet has no future. I disagree. I believe that humanity is full of hope, and that our salvation lies within each one of us. My name is Brian Rose, and my job is to listen, the oldest method of learning known to man. Each week I seek out individuals that are changing the world, people who are living and thinking in a different way. Their stories will challenge your beliefs, make you question your choices, and perhaps inspire you to change. I never planned on doing any of this, but now I can't stop. Join me on this mission and make humanity something we can all be proud of. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Brandon Lowry, recent graduate of our Business Accelerator. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about you. Where are you from? What do you do?
Born in Lubbock, Texas, raised in Dallas, Texas. I've spent pretty much my whole life doing blue-collar work. Right out of high school, I went to work with Fords. I went to be a Ford technician. And after that, I ended up being a welder. I tried college a few different times and never really kind of panned out for me. So I've been a welder until about a year and a half ago, and I scored a wonderful job as an IT, actually was an R&D engineer. Very fortunate to get that job, but it's actually what allowed me to, it freed up enough of my finances so I can actually make this happen. So yeah.
That's an interesting career change.
It was.
How did you pull that off?
Knowing the right people, you know. I mean, I started kind of a weird journey about 3 or 4 years ago when, well, it was actually one of my college experiences. I went to like the foremost Christian college in America. It's like where you send your kid if you want your kid to be a preacher. And I had a terrible experience. I couldn't, I mean, I just had a terrible experience. 3 months into it, I actually got a ticket in my little Fiat 500, out of town, third gear, flat on the floor, going back to Texas. And just, it was a terrible experience. Well, college failed, so what do you do now? You go to trade school. And that's where the whole welding thing came from. So I went to this school called the Tulsa Welding School. And it wasn't too long before I was working in the nighttime janitorial services. Well, they were reconstructing a portion of the building, and there was a gentleman by the name of Jack Novick. And
So let me just check. So let me just want to power through. So you went through welding.
Yeah.
You got this R&D job.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious, why did you join the Business Accelerator? What was going on in your head to come join us for this crazy journey?
Well, this is the good story, because I didn't even really know your name till maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I pulled the trigger on that.
Okay.
I found you through Simon Sinek.
Okay.
I was starting a business, and I was getting into this morality of you know, this kind of a new form morality of business, you know. And Simon was a big part of that. A lot of the stuff that he's put out was just, you know, very inspiring to me. All right, so I saw that video. I saw that video with you. I guess on YouTube, it just sort of, you started popping up after that video. And it was the $50 billion man. That's what got me. Dan Pena. I got curious, you know, because that was, you know.
Was that our movie with him that you watched?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he's just such a trip. Anyway, I started, I basically realized that mentorship was a necessary part of, I would say, a healthy business, like growing into business experience. And I got a chance to see through YouTube what he did for you. you know, because you were doing pretty well. I mean, as far as YouTube stuff goes, you were up there. And then, you know, you did the Castle seminar, and then it changed you, you know, and visually. I mean, because it was so strange when I was watching the YouTube videos. You know, I would see one video where, you know, you were, you know, in the previous version of yourself, and then the next video you were all suited up, you know, and I would just go through these things, and I didn't quite know what was going on until I learned about that the experience that you've had with Dan, and
so that made you seek out some of your own mentorship.
yes, it did. I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to continue getting mentors as often as possible. I don't have the business experience. I don't come from a line of people that are they even think about business. You know, it's kind of why I ended up being a welder, is because my parents, they just, you know, the default, you know.
Yeah, so you have to really change your mental patterns to even get on this journey
Yeah.
of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're doing with us. And what made you finally just pull the trigger and say, yes, I'm going to go with these guys?
I don't know. See, I didn't do much research. You know, I didn't know what to expect after I did it. Okay. And, you know, I haven't been terribly successful because I didn't do my research. I didn't quite know what I was getting myself into. The digital product, that is probably the most unexpected thing that I've come across. You know, I want to do drone services. And I had this conflict because, you know, how do you turn drone services into a digital product? And I'm still fighting that conflict. But one thing that I know 100% for sure is no one else in my industry is even kind of thinking about looking at it from this perspective. And that is so powerful.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you crack this, and it will take time to get your head around this stuff. And I know in the course we throw a lot at you real fast, and I want to hear a bit of your experience with that. But if you can get your head around it, and by the end of this weekend, maybe you will, then I think, like you said, it's a super powerful position to be in. And I think you could make some real waves in that business. First, tell me, what was it like that first 2 weeks in the program? I mean, you're on my team. You're thrown in with all these people. I'm asking you to upload videos. You know, what was it like?
Painful. Immense amounts of pain.
You saw the Pena movie. What did you expect me to do?
No, it's true. Well, that's what I want. It's why I'm here. You know, I'm changing my life. That's happening. I've learned through experience that you got to surround yourself with people that are heading the same direction. And that's sort of what I got out of the idea of mentorship. You know, you just surround yourself with people that know what they're doing and that want to see you succeed. And that's something that it's very special. And the course, the first 2 weeks of the course, it was, you know, the coursework wasn't difficult. But my biggest problem, or my thing to overcome, was Facebook, believe it or not. I don't know. I had no idea how to use Facebook. I had maybe used it 10 years ago, and I didn't have zero social media experience. Even, I had never used it. No one around me had ever used it. It was just something I've heard about, you know, and so that was the most difficult thing for me to overcome, because I had to figure out how to use Messenger. I had to figure out how to use the Facebook groups. That was difficult. You know, Facebook is complicated.
It is at first, that's for sure. You're not the only one that struggles with that. Tell me about the community. I mean, you've met some of them here so far. You'll meet a lot more tonight. We got a huge masterclass in the studio. There'll be like 80 people here. But yeah, you mentioned peer group before, but what's this community like? What did you learn from them?
You know, Yanni and Enrique, Enrique particularly, when I first got into this, my mindset was terrible. I mean, I was suffering from terrible depression. I mean, really, really bad depression. And I almost immediately realized that I had to fix this, because I'm not going to be successful if I don't get this addressed immediately. So I can't even remember how it happened. I think I just, maybe on the Messenger, I asked for help. And Enrique per his usual self, was right there, you know, willing to do whatever it took to help me through it. And then Yanni, with dieting. So I joined a gym membership, you know, and I just started running on the treadmill, you know, and that was such a big moment, because, you know, brain chemistry changes, you know, with that sort of thing. I had no real experience on this. I don't, you know, no one around me. My environment is 100% different, you know. So it was just interesting. It was it was really what these guys were telling me to do, and I buckled down. I got it done, you know, and I started seeing the benefits of it. It was very beneficial. I'm very appreciative to those people.
So they helped you even on a personal level, just
Yeah.
change your own self and your own mindset. Yeah, it's a very close group. You know, you get real close to people.
Yeah, London Real. What you got going on here? I mean, you become a magnet for just really, really good people, and that's something to be proud of, because that doesn't happen often. In my experience in business, it's almost the opposite, you know. And I know you have a background in Wall Street, and you understand this better than most. But I've never seen or heard of anything that attracts quality people the way this does, you know, and that's incredible.
Thank you for that observation, and I feel the same way. For me, if I don't feel good energy every time I walk in the door, I might as well go back to the banks, you know,
Yeah.
and do horrible stuff. So for me, I always get to surround myself with great people, team leaders, great energy, and, you know, and great students too. So tell me about, you know, biggest takeaway from the course, you know, and I know certain things were struggles and certain things weren't, but, you know, you pushed through, you made it here to graduation. What is that thing you're going to take away?
It's always going to be painful. Making changes. I mean, uprooting, you know, because something that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to uproot a lot of my friends that I've had for 10 years. You know, I've tried really hard to kind of show them what I'm doing, kind of convince them that this is, you know, this would be good for you too, and I'm just not getting any positive feedback. And going through the course and watching how everyone interacts with each other, that's something you got to have. You know, you got to, if everyone's going the same direction, it's so much easier for you to walk that direction as well. So it's just kind of, you know, difficult to say, really. But I think that the peer group, elevating my peer group, is probably going to be the biggest thing I take away from this.
The truth is, this is your new family, and these are the people that are going to help you on that path. And the reality is, you're probably going to have to purge 70 or 80% of those other people, at least for now, you know, for 6 months or for a year, and get yourself to where you got momentum going forward. And honestly, if they watch you make that change, some of them will come around and say, you know what are you doing, Brandon? You got some good energy, you know, I want to do this. And some won't, and that's the cost, you know, but life is short, and you know where you need to go. And you've got this incredible group of people here that not only want you to go there, but they expect it, you know?
Yeah.
They expect you to make these changes. And so I would just say, from everything I've seen in my experience, it's hard, but you're going to have to let those people go and hang out with this amazing group of people for now. And luckily, you have this incredible support structure. And for the next 12 months, you're going to be on these calls. You got incredible people on this team, like Enrique and Yane, who are invested in you and who are expecting some big things, like me too. I want to see my goddamn digital product. And again, this drone space is fascinating. You know, honestly, I could buy your digital product. You know, I'm going to Chattanooga, Tennessee in 37 days to compete in my Ironman competition. And I'm bringing a video team, and we don't know how to fly the drones. We always do a kind of an okay job. But I would pay right now good money for a digital course that would at least take me from a 2 to a 5. And so I'm telling you, there's a need for this course, and you could make it happen. So I'm going to push you to go a little further there.
Oh, it'll happen.
All right, Brandon. Last question. You know, if we walked out on the street right now and bumped into the old Brandon, you know, the guy that hadn't gone through this course, how is he different than you?
He's running from the pain. He doesn't want to experience it. And it's changing is difficult. Changing is a very, very difficult thing. Far, far more difficult than I ever thought it would be. I mean, the internal struggle is just, it's unreal almost. But you got to do it. You buckle down, and if it hurts, it hurts. Keep going. Don't stop. Whatever. Turn around. I mean, it's just, you got to keep it going. That's what I would tell him.
Amen to that. I live that every day, man. And who knows how long it'll take, but each day, just push through, get the right people around you, stay focused. Last question to someone who's on the edge, not sure if they should go this route, Business Accelerator. They don't know what's going on in this course, not sure. What would you tell them?
You got to make a move. And if you're going to make a move, get with people that have pedigree. Any way you can. And here in a week, I'll be talking to Dan Pena in South Carolina. Just because I have to. Didn't want to. Still don't want to. I'm probably going to get yelled at. But it's something you gotta do. And if you don't do it now, the chances that you ever do it decrease. I mean, by the moment. You give yourself one way out, you will find that way out every time you try to change something.
It's so true. I always tell people, this is the moment in time. You tell me I'll wait till 3 months, I'll wait 6 months, I'll wait till I have my baby. It's never. Matter of fact, this is the closest you'll ever be to making this big change. And every second you wait, you're actually getting further away. So it's at some point, you got to take a deep breath, and then what do you feel? Do you feel this? Yes, I do. And then go for it. And that's true about life. Brandon, love hearing your story here. And you're on the start of a journey. We're all actually on the start of our own journey, but I was right where you were 6-7 years ago, not knowing what was going on, doubting my old peer group, not knowing the way to go forward, struggling with all sorts of things, and so, you see this vision going forward, and you're right, it's going to be hard, but just pushing yourself into that fear, because the fear is exactly that, false expectations appearing real. It's a phantom that causes you to live small, and it's a bunch of BS. When you get there, you realize, well, actually, this was nothing. And yet it kept me from living my life for 10 years, 20 years. So we'll be watching you. We're on these calls the next 12 months. Let's do some big things. And welcome to the family. Thanks, sir.
London Real doesn't stop when the conversation ends. You see, that's when we get started. Because everything begins with a thought. And then comes the action. The London Real Academy is our global transformation platform. Here we bring together thousands of students from over 75 countries. Whether you want to build a profitable business from your passion, or learn to speak to inspire, or broadcast yourself with your very own podcast, or accelerate your life to become a high-performance person, we have the online accountability course and personal mentoring program that will make your dream a reality. Join us, and we'll take your life to the next level, together. Our next Accelerator course is starting soon.